Good morning, student. We shall go further towards the third part of the lesson first, and then, if time permits us, we will also try to go through the fourth part of the story. Today, we shall see the third part of the story. First and second, we have seen the day before, and now see this. The little girl is with her planning, especially any trip to any destination needs money, and now there is question of rising amount for the traveling is before this little girl. It means we have to see the answer of this question. How did this little girl make or collect money for her traveling? Let me read this passage to you. First paragraph, page number 122, means 122, third part. Her first journey, what careful, painstaking, elaborate plan she had to make for it. Now, painstaking, the word I have given here, painful, hard. Elaborate, make clear or larger. Her first journey, what careful, painstaking, elaborate plan she had to make for it. She had strictly saved whatever stray coin came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermint, toys, balloon and the like, and finally she had saved a total of 60 paisa. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had religiously tripled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. See the new word to it. Cheaply, secretly. Resist means control, and resolute means determinedly, and triple means to control again. Now boys, see, I will read this passage to you again. First, her first journey, what careful, painstaking, elaborate plan she had to make for it. She had strictly saved whatever stray coin came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermint, toys, balloon and the like, and finally she had saved total of 60 paise. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had religiously strict, controlled desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. The question is this: how did the girl save money for trip? How did the girl save money? Now boys, the answer is here. Her planning was very careful. Her planning was troublesome. Her planning was painstaking, and she had to make a painstaking plan. She had to make very careful plan. She had to make very elaborate plan to save money. What she had done? Secretly, whatever the money that came in her way, she used to put it aside, and she controlled her temptation. She did not buy peppermint, she did not buy toys, she did not buy balloon, and like this she saved total paisa of 60, or she saved 60 paisa. And boys, it became very difficult for her to save money, because those days were the days of fair in the village, and there was a roundabout, merry-go-about. She controlled it. She did not ride on. She did not ride on the merry-go-round. She controlled herself, and in this way, this little girl saved money for her journey. Okay, boys, this paragraph clear to you? I hope this is clear to you. Let me go ahead toward the next paragraph. After she had enough money saved, the next problem was how to sleep out of the house without the mother's knowledge. How did the girl sleep out? How did the girl sleep out of the house? Boy, this is also the part of planning. This is also the part of planning she was making to go to town. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to sleep out, how to go out of the house without her mother's knowledge. But she managed this without too much difficulty. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap. Take rest. For a while. It means in Marathi it is called Vam Kukshi. Every day after lunch her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. Valley always used this hour for her exertion as she stood looking from the doorway of her house. Or sometime even venture out into the village today. This same hour could be used for her first exertion out outside the house. Now, boys, she made a plan. She had observed her mother's habit. Generally, after having meal, after 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, after having meal, her mother used to take nap. She used to take rest for a while, and she decided to use that duration of time to sleep out of the house to go to the town. She decided to use. So the answer is this, first and second. Now let me go ahead toward the third paragraph. The bus rolled on. The bus rolled on, now cutting across bare landscape. The bus rolled on, now cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet, H-A-M-L-E-T, small village. The bus was running through the small village or past an old wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seems on the point of dashing. G-O-B-B-I-N-G, gobbing. G-O-B-L-L-I-N-G means dashing. Let me read it again. The bus rolled on, now cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or seems past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seems on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees come running towards them, but then stood as the bus reached them, and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in other direction. So describe the way in which the bus was passing. Describe the way in which the bus was passing. Let me read this passage paragraph to you. You will understand how the bus was going, how the bus was running, how the bus was making her tour towards the town. The bus rolled on, now cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on to the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them, as or a pedestrian crossing the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all the obstacles safely behind. Tree came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. I hope that you understood this paragraph. Suddenly, Valley clapped her hand with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running fast. Right in the middle of the road, right in the front of the bus slowed to a crawl, and driver sounded his horn loudly again and again, but the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became, and the faster it galloped, always right in the front of bus. What happened? Why did Valley clap? Why did? Just a minute. Why did Valley clap? How did the cow react? How did the bus driver try to save the cow? Okay, boys, let me read this passage paragraph to you again. You will understand. The bus rolled on now, cutting across bare here. Suddenly, Valley clapped her hand with glee. Joy or great excitement, Joy. Valley clapped her hand with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast, right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl, and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became, and the faster it galloped, jumped. Gallop means jump, always right in the front of bus. See, a cow was running before a bus, and this was the reaction she had expressed, she had reacted. Somehow this was very funny to Valley. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. She reacted like this. She enjoyed it like anything else. Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough? Called the conductor. Better save some for tomorrow. At last the cow moved off the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there it diverged a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning entered a wider thoroughfare, such big, bright looking shop, that glittering display of cloth and other merchandise, such a big crowd. Now the bus entered the city and there were many shops. The shops were shining, they were decorated, and she was attracted by the market. Struck dumb with wonder, Valley gaped at everything. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Valley. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is as much as your 30 paisa take you. No, said Valley, I am going back on the same bus. She took another 30 paisa from her pocket and landed the coin to the conductor. Why is something the matter? No. Nothing is the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride. That is all. Don't you want to have a look at the sight now that you are here? All by myself. Oh, I would be much. I would be much too afraid. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, but you were not afraid to come in the bus. Nothing to be afraid of about that, she answered. Well then, why not to go that stall over here and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either. Oh no, I could not do that. Well then, let me bring you a cold drink. No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket. That is all. It will be my treat, and it will be my treat, and not cost you anything. No. Please no. Said Valley. The conductor shrugged, and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there wasn't many passenger. The questions are given here. I will ask you orally. See, how did Valley save up money for here? Article preposition should be there. I have already written it on the blackboard. How did Valley see? What did Valley see on the way that made her laugh? Why didn't she get off the bus at the bus station? Why didn't Valley want to go to the stall and have a drink? What does this tell you about her? Now, I think that you might have understood third part. Let us go further towards the fourth part of this lesson, that is Madam rides the bus. Now, she started her journey back to pavilion. Won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. Conductor asked if her mother was not looking for her when she was in the big town. No. One will be looking for me. No one will looking for me, she said. The bus started and again there was the same wonderful sight. Valley wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside. Just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. The conductor agreed that it was the same cow who had been running before their bus. The conductor nodded. After being asked by a little girl, the conductor agreed that it was the same cow, and she was overcome with sadness. That had been what had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its life charm and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread eagled, a fixed star in the lifeless eyes, blood blood all over. The bus moved. The memory of the dead cow haunted Valley, dampening her enthusiasm. She became very sad and nervous, disappointed after seeing the dead cow on the back journey to the pavilion. She no longer wanted to look out the now. She didn't like to see outside the window. She sat thus, glued to her seat, fixed to her seat, until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, this is goodbye. I hope to see you again." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us, and don't forget to bring your fare." She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking one of Valley's aunt, the one from South Street. This aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started speaking or talking. "And whatever, and where you have been, said her aunt when Valley come in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply, so Valley just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their discussion, with their conversation. "Yes, you are right. So many things in the world. Yes, you are right. So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely. Can we?" said Valley's mother. "Oh yes," breathed Valley. "What?" asked her mother. "What is that you say?" "Oh," Valley said, "I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening outside without our knowledge. Just a cheat of a girl she is," said her aunt, "and yet look how she poked her nose into our conversation just as though she were grown-up lady." Valley smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile, but then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? In this way, the little girl had two kind of experience. The good side of life she enjoyed, and as well as the sad, sorrowful side of life she also. And this experience really makes her a grown-up woman. That incident teach her a lot. That incident teach her both side of life, that is joy and sorrow. Here I hope that you might have understood lesson. Thank you very much.